What's good, y'all? What's up with it? It's your girl, Poppy. I mean, you can call me Poppy J if you're feeling spicy. And baby, we are back with a brand new episode of Pop Talk. Today's special guest hails from the place to be in Illinois, and you know that's Chicago, okay? He is an honor student at the one and only Prairie View A&M University, and he is an up-and-coming musician. So, honey, let's get into this gig, literally. I am so excited to announce that Justin Collins is joining us today. So don't y'all go anywhere and stay tuned for this episode of Pop Talk. What's good, y'all? What's up? It's your girl, Poppy J. Yeah. High five, G. Welcome to Pop Talk, y'all. Mr. Justin Collins is in the building. I am so glad to have you on Pop Talk today. And I'm going to give you the floor. So go ahead and tell the people who you are.
My name is Justin Collins. I'm from the Southside of Chicago, born and raised West Englewood. I'm a music artist slash entrepreneur slash mentor. I'm really the jack of all trades. So I honestly do a little bit of everything. And I'm an honor sophomore attending the illustrious Prairie View A&M University.
Yes, sir. I know that's right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this gig, literally, Mr. Musician. Okay. You have to indulge me now. Okay. So how did you get into the music industry? Like, what did that process look like for you? What's your genre? Do you rap? Do you sing? I want all the tea, all of it.
I'm more of a hip hop artist, but I experiment with different genres, of course. So I do like a lot of R&B, neo soul, things like that. Um, I've been doing music for like about 15 years. It was kind of like my first love, and that was like my first hobby. And it was like, turned into a hobby, ended up taking it seriously, and then it ended up going into a career. Like growing up in Chicago, not a lot of us had like, a positive outlet.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that I constructively did that made me like, feel better about my environment situation, just with the violence and things like that. And that was a way for me to cope with everything that I was like, that I had going on in my upbringing. So,
yeah. And it's so interesting when people talk about Chicago and the South Side. Like I've only ever visited. I'm not really a Chicago person. I love the city. It's cute when I go. But like you said, there really is a lot of violence, and the youth in that area struggle, with a lot growing up and having to, like you said, find outlets. So for you, did you have someone that kind of was a mentor for you throughout that time?
I'm the youngest of about 8 brothers, like, include like my mom adopted a lot of kids too. So like
Okay.
that's why I say like I have so many siblings, but I've always been the baby. But it was always those times where it's like, with me being so young, they were always out doing their own thing. Like they'll be around, they'll be there for me when I need them, but they weren't like as hands-on, in my earlier upbringing. So I was primarily by myself in a lot of cases. But one of my older brothers actually rapped as well. He kind of like unknowingly put it on me just by like me watching him do it and things like that. So I'm like, okay, I want this to be one of the ways that we bond because, like I said, like they were always out doing their own thing. So I'm like, okay, let me try doing this too. So I can be like, hey, I know how to rap too, just so like we can have that brotherly bond together or whatever. So he initially wrote my first rap, and that's how I like knew about like how to project stage presence
And how
like
old
that.
were you when all of this was happening?
I was 6.
6. Yeah, because you said
6 years
15
old.
years. That's kind of a long. Think about that. I was like, wait, you had to be like 5, 6, something like that. That's really, wow, that's really inspiring.
Yeah. Like that was the first thing that I feel like I even like took serious. Like as a kid, I like while kids was like playing outside, like I'll go outside and stuff, but like I was be in the house writing raps.
So where do you want music to take you?
Um, well, music has already taken me so many different places. Like just with me being able to present awards at award shows and being
Mm.
with opportunities like mentoring the youth and things like that because my music has such a positive message behind it. It opens up a more broader door
Yeah.
than it would for most hip hop artists. Hip hop typically gets a bad reputation just for being like violent and so provocative and, the negative spectrums of the world. So it's kind of cool how like my style of music has opened up doors for me to possibly do modeling and acting, brand ambassadoring, and just like more of the community outreach because
Yeah.
you could do more things in your community when your message is like uplifting instead of like, as they would put it, like, kind of destroying in a way.
Yeah.
So,
I hear what you're saying.
but for a career, I would want it to be more like it'll lead me into possibly doing more community work in my community, activism. Um,
Okay.
hopefully, get into the acting bag a little bit, definitely. I've been recently picking up really big on like the modeling side. So just hoping to keep enhancing that.
Yeah, cool. I mean, you spoke a lot about getting involved in the community and things like that. So, like, why do you feel like it's important to give back?
It's important to me because we don't have enough of it where we come from. Like
Mm,
most people that are blessed to make it out of Chicago, it's very rare that they reach back. And one thing that I had a conversation with my mentor with one of my mentors, Ad too. He said it's nothing worse than having information and not leaving it with the next generation when you leave because it doesn't nothing that I'm doing right now stops with me.
right,
And once I got old enough and I realized that I actually had an influence, I had to realize like, okay, I have to pour into the youth as much as possible. What use would it be if I leave this earth with it and I don't put it in the hands of the next generation?
right.
So that's why I always say like the more you're supposed to teach. I had a lot of negative things in my face as a youth, but once I got older and I started, obviously knowing how to dissect right from wrong and things like that, I started looking at the more positive people that were trying to pour into me, and I realized like, oh, this is empowering. This is something that not only we should embrace, but we should spread amongst each other.
Yeah, I love that. And representation is also so important for children. And I think you being from the South Side of Chicago, leaving and coming back is going to show them like, hey, he did it, I could do it too. Like, and I feel like a lot of children, especially that are kind of in those negative environments, don't always see how they can get out or how they can go and continue to rise and be great. And so I think it's really beautiful that you've noticed that and you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to give back. And I'm going to go and I'm going to teach somebody else because I've learned something and I want somebody else to learn that too. So that is super beautiful. I love it so much. So let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about your HBCU experience, right? So you're at PV, I'm at
You know,
PV. What
damn.
made you pursue an HBCU and specifically why PV?
So to answer the first part of the question, why HBCU? Um, it was my upbringing. Like, people from my neighborhood particularly weren't really going to college, but
Mm,
I was a standout football player, when I was in high school. So all of my football coaches, they went to HBCUs. That was my first introduction into what an HBCU was. Like when I heard about colleges, I never really heard about, the Jackson States, the Prairie Views, um, the Southerns, the Gremlins. I never heard about them because they were never
right.
broadcasted on the mainstream level. You only hear about, the primarily PWIs or the Ivy League
Mm-hmm.
schools. But the more dominant male figures in my life that did pursue higher learning, get their degrees and things, they attended HBCUs. Like both of my football coaches, they attended Langston University.
Okay, Langston. I know
Yeah,
Langston.
so
We went to OSU. It was about like 15, 20 minutes away from each
about like
other.
15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like watching them take pride in their HBCU, like watching them take pride in their schools in general,
And
uh,
yeah.
at the like, like once they even reach their like once they reach a certain age in life, I'm like, dang, like I want to feel that way about a school too. Like, if I'm gonna spend 4 years somewhere getting a degree, I want to feel exactly like how they feel at their age
Hmm.
about my school. Especially like HBCUs are for us. They're for people
Exactly.
that look like us, come from our same backgrounds, share our same social struggles, economic struggles, and things like that. And it's like a good way to help us uplift each other, like in our own little bubble.
Hmm.
As far as PV, PV was always a choice for me because they were one of the first schools to give me an offer, football wise, and
Gotcha.
I knew a few people from Chicago, like older PV alumni that would like Mr. T. He's from Chicago. He attended Prairie View, and then
Mm,
back in the '70s before his acting career.
yeah.
He's also from the Southside of Chicago. So that
Mm,
was something that like I
okay, full circle, full
yeah.
circle.
So then I'm like, okay, I don't want to go to the same HBCUs that everybody else are going to and things like that. So I just kind of had an unconditional love for the university as a whole. They gave me a football scholarship. Quick turn in a little different direction. I ended up getting injured my senior year, so they took the scholarship away.
Wow.
Yeah, so in lieu of that, I ended up going to PWI. I attended Eastern Illinois University. I was there for about a year. Kind of faced the same thing there, like just it was closer to home, but it didn't feel right. And
Yeah.
and it's nothing against the university. It was nothing against what they had to offer, but it just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that I wanted to do, like the things that I wanted to do, I didn't feel right. Like it didn't feel right trying to do it there. So I ended up, and it was another unfortunate thing. I ended up getting financially dismissed because I couldn't. After I lost my football scholarship, I couldn't afford to pay my tuition, so ended up getting sent home. I took that time out to develop my music career, develop my mentorship program,
Yeah.
just like really understand the business of like the music industry, entrepreneurship, my mental health, things like that. So I never lost my drive to come back to school. That this entire time I'm building my career, I'm like, I'm doing this, and then I'm gonna flip the script and go back to school, and I'm gonna continue
Yeah.
doing everything I'm doing at PV. My goal was to always come back to PV.
I am living for this. I am living. Okay, continue, continue.
So so I ended up just like I always knew it. Like it was almost like in my mental calendar, like all right, like I got to go back to PV. Especially like most of my friends, they attended here as well. So it was always like I was always on campus. I always had a presence and things like that. I just wasn't in school.
Just wasn't in school. Yeah.
Um, the pandemic happened, so that kind of put a hold on things. It kind of pushed a lot of things back. But once everything opened back up, I reapplied. Another bump in the road. I didn't get accepted at first. I got denied.
Wow. Okay, I need a little bit more detail. I like to get the tape. So how long was your break from Eastern Illinois
I,
University to PV? How long was that break?
I left Eastern Illinois the 2016. I'm in PV now, so I believe I got here like fall of 2021.
Okay. You got denied from PV first.
Right. That's what we were.
And
So
then how did we get in to PV?
so they denied me. I was shocked. I was like, wow, okay. Like, I was kind of in my feelings about it, but then I kept reading the email. That like this be the thing. Like people will only read the first few sentences, and
Call it
they
a day.
just call it a
Hmm.
day. I just so happened to keep reading. They said you have the opportunity to write an appeal letter.
Mm.
You can write an appeal letter telling us why you want to come back to school, why we should accept you, and things like that, and give us we give you the opportunity to basically plead your case.
Hmm.
So the letter got wrote, and I waited for almost 2 months. Like after a while, I'm like, man, if I'm waiting this long, I don't think I got it. Like I just started like exploring other options for like other universities, but something in my spirit just kept telling me like, oh, don't apply nowhere else, don't
Yeah.
be housing for nowhere else,
Wait on it.
just wait it out.
Hmm.
And literally 2 days before my birthday of 2021, they sent me my acceptance letter.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That is insane, Justin. That is insane. Wow.
crazy.
Well, I'm so glad that it worked out because obviously we're here now. We're both rising future makers. I want you to tell the people how you learned about this opportunity, and how you heard about, the AT&T Rising Future Maker program.
Okay, so a part of me taking time out from my first half of going to school from back in 2015, part of that was doing nonprofits in like the community and things. So I had already had a relationship with AT&T based in 2018, I
Okay.
believe. They were doing campaigns in Chicago. They were doing like panel talks, programs and things like that with, people in the city. And I was so happy through the blessings of my mentor, Ad too. He set me up with an opportunity to perform. It was a Believe Chicago campaign that they had going on
Oh,
around this time. So
cool.
this was a campaign they had going on with like Showtime Chicago with the TV show The Chi
Yeah.
performance for them. It was a campaign we had did for mental health. I did a performance for that. So it really started off like strictly music based, but then it ended up being more community based to where it's now like they opened up an AT&T store in like the same neighborhood I grew up with, and we just so happened to be there for the grant. Like they invited us out for
Yeah.
the opening, presented. We got a chance to meet Lena Waithe, which is the director of the Chi.
That's so cool.
We did that from 2018 up until the pandemic. And then, once things got back open, we basically picked up right where we left off. But the difference is I was in school now. I was like, hey, we have this program going now, Rising Future Makers. The next go around, we need you on it. We need you on it. Like what exactly is the meaning behind what it is?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we want to put more emphasis on HBCU scholars that are not doing positive things and constructive things on their campuses, but in their communities. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I guess there's something I can, like, I do a lot of stuff on campus. I do a lot of stuff in my community. I guess I'll do a video. I guess I could try to fit this into 60 seconds, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. I did it and I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, they not gonna pick me. I'm just, going through the motion. I'm like, it looked good, but I'm like, okay.
Right.
Then I got the email. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
wow. Like, this is serious. This is a real thing.
I was like, oh, okay. And then like from then on in, we just been locked and loaded since then.
You are just giving me life. Listen, Pop Talk community, I hope y'all are picking up these gems. I hope you are tuned into this interview because Justin is just giving me life, and I hope you are getting life as well. Okay. Okay. Here's my last question of the interview portion. As an AT&T Rising Future Maker, what fuels your future?
Um, what fuels my future? That's a great question. What fuels my future is knowing that it's bigger than me. Your past, that's what drives you. Like, you always have something to go back to. Your present is where you are and just, where you currently see yourself. Your future is what do I see myself doing from my present to enhance, what's to come. When it comes to the future, not a lot of us realize that we have people looking up to us as we're on these journeys. Not a lot of people realize that when you do things, it's somebody out there that might be scared to make the same moves that you're making. So if they see you take that next step forward, they'll be willing to take that next step forward and they'll be willing to keep moving on with
Oh,
you. So that way we don't get too far behind with each other. I know you have a son, what I'm saying? You have a little boy that, that you're like a wonderful parent with. Like I've always wanted to like tell you that how I admire your comfort that I see that you give him, your uplift.
thank you.
And just like how you're that strong dominant figure that I know he's gonna look at him like, look, my mom did this. Like if I can strive past her, it's a done deal. So the future is just like mainly just setting those goals and like being like persevering to like get there.
Yes, honey. Thank you so much. That actually means a lot. I appreciate that, your comment. So, whew, thank you. I almost got emotional because I be getting emotional these days. But no, thank you so much for coming on Pop Talk and just sharing your story, sharing your heart, your insight, your mind. It's needed in this world. It's needed for the next generation. And I think a lot of the things that you said today spoke directly to me as well. So thank you so much. But y'all, the episode is not over. We're not done. What's good, y'all? What's up? All right, y'all. So today's game is going to be called What Would Justin Do? Silver or gold?
Go.
Skydiving or bungee jumping?
Skydiving.
Would you rather travel at night or during the day?
During the day.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Fly or drive?
Fly.
Black or white?
Black.
Rihanna or Beyonce?
Rihanna.
Yes! I would pick Rihanna too. Everybody's been picking Beyonce. Don't get me wrong. I love Queen Bee, but I'm a Rihanna girl. Hey, you know what? I've been saying this the whole episode, but you are literally giving me life because hashtag Rihanna. What's good, y'all? Would you want to live in a world where everyone's thoughts appeared as a text message above their head?
Oh, it gotta be a yes or no question.
Yes or no?
No. Because sometimes your thoughts can just run away from you sometimes, and you might be thinking something that you're not supposed to say, so you don't say it. But if it's a thought, oh, then
And it would just pop up right there.
we'll be in trouble.
Man, that is funny. I don't think I would do it either. So, good answer.
There we go.
Okay. If a roach tasted like your favorite food in the world, if a roach tasted like your favorite food in the world, would you try it?
Yeah, I mean, like, don't give me like, look, I've been vegetarian for 5 years, but like, even going back to the times why I ate meat, I'm like, we eat a lot of other things. Like, if it tastes like my favorite food, uh,
What's your favorite food?
as a vegetarian, oyster mushrooms.
No, sir. I'm a picky eater.
I gotta cook for you.
Mushrooms?
I have to cook for you.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms, and I can make them taste like chicken.
Okay, I'm interested.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I might be interested. Okay, okay. So, okay, he said he would try a roach if it tasted like oyster mushrooms. Interesting. Again, this is what would Justin do, not what would Poppy do. So let's just go on to the next question in this round. Based on your personality, if you were reincarnated as an animal, what animal would you come back as?
Ooh. It's got to be one.
Oh, what's your answer?
My first answer will probably be like an 8.
Okay. Why
I mean,
eight?
because they're the strongest in the jungle, and they don't eat meat. So, so that's just me in current circumstances.
What's good, y'all? What's up?
I would do a TED talk about the art of perseverance.
That's a good one. And with the story that you told today, I could see it. I could see that happening.
That's exactly what it'd be like, and that's why I say like that'd be like perfect topic.
Yeah. Wow, I love it. Well, thank you for playing the game. That's all I got. I feel like we learned so much about you in actually a really short amount of time. So that was really great. Thanks for playing What Would Justin Do? What's good, y'all? What's up? All right, y'all, that's all we have for you today. We just wrapped up this episode of Pop Talk. To Justin, I just want to say thank you again for joining me on this show. It really does mean a lot to hear your story and for you to just share more about who you are, your mindset. Just beautiful. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to Pop Talk, the YouTube channel. We are going only up from here. But that's all we have. So it's your girl, Poppy.
It's your boy, Justin.
And we're both signing out. Peace, love, and blessings. Remember to live your life with hashtag all smiles. High five, G.